Hi, I'm Becky, and we are so excited to be back with you today. I am honored to get to interview my brother and dear friend Josh Eason to announce the release of his new original single called Trust in You. Now, this is your second single. Hallelujah was released in March of 2019.
That's right.
And now this is the second song, but this is an original song, and it is incredible. You are going to love it. I got to hear it, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. So today, we're going to talk about the story behind the song. Well, I can't wait for everybody to hear the story behind the song. Now, I've heard that every great song comes from a place of great pain. I don't know if that's true, but I'm anxious for everybody to hear your story about this song.
This song definitely was birthed in a great trial, one of the greatest trials I think I've ever faced in my life. And I had to actually walk it out and live it before I could write it out and pen it. And so how it really started was one morning at like 4 in the morning, I woke up and I had some kind of rupture on the inside of my body. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I go to my family physician and they immediately send me to the emergency room. And they run all kinds of tests. And the emergency room doctor's like, we don't know what's going on at all. And over the next several days, I would lose like 20 pounds in like a week or two, and had severe symptoms that were just horrific. And I again, no one could tell me what was going on, but that was at that time. And then like a couple of weeks later, I just lost my health, and no one could figure it out. 2 weeks later, I'm riding in my car listening to a group called Resound, and I love their singing, and they are singing. 'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, the old hymn.
Yeah.
And they go to the end part and they do this kind of vamp where they're saying, I'll trust you, I'll trust you, I'll trust you. So I just start singing with them. And as I'm singing with them, I hear this small voice on the inside speak to me and ask me the question, do you really mean that?
Ooh.
And he asks, do you really mean what you're singing? And I'm like, sure, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I trust you, yeah, sure. Little did I know, but like 2 or 3 days later after that, I was released from my job unexpectedly.
Ooh.
So in like a 2-week period, I lost my health and no one could tell me what was going on. And then I lost my job. And as time would progress, that was just the beginning of the avalanche, if you will. My 3-year-old daughter was hospitalized for several days. And then my father-in-law passed away. Then our house fell apart, and it was like tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And the whole time that's happening, my health just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and more specialists, more doctors, and no answers. So it all comes to like a culmination when I'm laying in bed. I wake up in the morning and I couldn't move. I was in so much pain. It was so hard to even move out of bed, and I was trying to gather my strength to get up out of bed, and I'm like, I literally just prayed, Lord, I cannot face one more day. I cannot face one more day of suffering, one more day of pain. And right after I prayed that, I'm trying to literally like slide out of the bed, and this song comes to my mind, I will trust in you. And I hear the chorus, and I hear these words, when I can't face the day, I'll lift my hands and say, I will trust in you. And that's really where the song started.
Wow. Well, that is a story of pain.
Yeah.
Now, so you got the whole download of the song, or it was just bits and pieces?
No. That was just a chorus and that one little phrase. But I didn't get the whole song until, that's another interesting story. This whole song is wrapped around having to trust God. Because we were at rehearsal one night, and one of my good friends, and he plays in our worship team, he asked me, he comes up like, when are we going to do some of your original music? And I'm like, no, we're not going to do any of that, because whether it be insecurity or timidity or just being unsure, I was like, no, I'm not. I don't think we ought to do that. He's like, no, you have some songs, don't you? I'm like, well, I do have this song, and I start singing it, and I'm like, oh, and then there's this song, and I start singing it, and I'm like, wait, now, yeah, there's this song too. And he's like, man, you got enough songs to do like a whole CD, a whole record. And after talking to him on my way home, he's like, we need to do some of your stuff. I kind of just let my guard down, and I was like, Lord, if that's what you want me to do, I'll try. I'll do it. I'll do it. I went home that night, and the next morning, on my way to work, and it's almost like God was like, here are the verses to the rest of the song, Trust in You. It wasn't until I said, sure, I'll try. Yes, Lord, I'll do whatever I can. I'll do my best. And I let my yes and my surrender take over. That's when he was saying, here, you can have.
Wow. I think we miss how powerful yes is. It's a very small word, but it is a very powerful act. Yeah. And so many times God is just waiting on our yes.
Yes, he is. That's again, when I finally said, yes, Lord, I'll try, that's when things started opening up for me. And I want to encourage anybody that may be watching, sometimes you're saying, well, I'm waiting on God, I'm waiting on God. And God's saying, I'm just waiting on you to say yes. I didn't even do anything. I just said, Lord, I'll try if you want me to try. And the next morning, he said, here. And one of the most powerful things is, one time my sister said, we were having a rehearsal and we're having a big, powerful time of prayer. And I started getting this song and I start writing the lyrics out. And while I'm writing the lyrics out, my sister walks up and says, you write and sing and record what he gives you.
Yeah.
And leave the results up to him.
Right.
So that freed me. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to worry about what's going to happen after it. All I have to do is just take the first step and use what he's put in my hands and leave the results up to him.
And all we have to do is just say yes.
That's it.
It's small, but yet it's so huge.
Yeah.
And the good news is, we say that one little simple word and God does all the rest.
That's it.
The weight's off of us. It's on him.
Right.
And so what a beautiful story though, really. Now, who would you say influences your writing style?
Oh man, that's such a loaded question because there are so many people that I look up to and I love their music, from secular music to Christian music. I've been raised in music my entire life, my brother, my sister, and I, and we've traveled the globe singing and stuff. So there's so many people that I've been influenced by, but the writings of like Smokey Norfolk, when he wrote I Need You Now, or I'm the Lord I See and Yes I Understand. I love Ty Tribbett's worship. I love Fred Hammond, Israel Houghton, Donnie McClurkin. But I also love people like John Mayer, Brian McKnight. Their lyrics are amazing. But I can't really say one specific person, but it's just you kind of pick and choose from what you like from each person, and it kind of makes a well-rounded you know?
And then you hear their influence in your music.
Right.
Now, so what would you say is next as far as the music?
If I could dream big, I would love to release CDs or albums or whatever they call them now, records. I would love to release not just singles at a time. I would love to release entire albums, and maybe even do like a live worship experience or live music at one time. That would be the ultimate dream.
Wow. Now, the story behind this song, it's a miraculous story. Mm-hmm. And so after all you've been through, and this has taken, a year and a half to get this song out?
Yeah, we started this song, not this past January, but the January before that.
Wow.
And I'm like, why is this taking so long? I'm trying to hurry and make it happen. It just wouldn't work, and I couldn't figure it out. But what I now know is God's timing is perfect. Yes. And I think, especially with the season that we're in and the year that we're in, and everything kind of going haywire, I think I know that this is God's timing of this is when the song needs to be released. Right,
and sometimes we look at a delay and we get frustrated.
Oh, yes.
In every aspect of life.
Much so.
And there's been frustration.
To say the least.
Trying to get this song done. Yeah. And now we see God's timing is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I'm trying to make it happen, trying to make it happen, it just wouldn't work. And then when God's timing is ready, He starts bringing all the pieces together in a split second. Yes. And you're like, why couldn't this work? But I'm trying. Right. But that's because He knows better than we do.
Right. And then He knew all along what we didn't know a year and a half ago, where we would be right now in this world.
That's right.
The craziness, the pandemic, everything that's happening and seems to be spiraling out of control. And what does He speak? Trust.
That's it.
Just trust.
Yeah.
Just trust. And those words are simple, and yet they are huge.
Yeah.
And in a time like this, that's what people need. And this song is going to bring hope to so many people. So I have to know, what is your goal for the song, you think?
You just said it, really. As a recording artist and things like that, you, of course, want the song to do well. But That was my big high goals and high dreams for Hallelujah. But when God gave this song, I'm like, Lord, above anything else, I ask that someone that's laying in the bed like I was, and they are saying, God, I cannot face one more day. Whether it's a youngster that's being bullied at school, or cannot take an exam, or worried about exam, or getting ready to go to college and like, I don't know which direction to go in. Or if it's someone that's older and they're facing financial trouble or problems in their marriage or just impossible situations. I pray that this song comes in their ears somehow, some way, and it brings them hope the way that God brought hope to me when I was laying in the bed and needing it.
Right. And you know, as you said, you had to walk this song out.
Yeah.
And when you sing from that place, it's different.
Definitely.
When you sing from that place where you're like, I didn't just write it, I've lived it.
Right.
You've lived it.
Yeah, and I knew when at the end of the second verse it says, I need you now, God, take control. You're reaching out, I'm letting go.
Ooh.
That's when I knew, okay, this is beyond my ability or my what I can do, but this is from God.
Yeah.
And I took it to my sister and like, what do you think about this? She's like, these are heaven inspired.
Yes.
So it's all Him to hopefully bring hope to other people.
And now it's so amazing to look back over the year and a half and frustration and pain and significant trials, the loss of your father-in-law, hospitalizations, debt, sickness, and now you look and it's all coming together for the glory of God.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful.
There's some things that you cannot get unless you walk to the valley.
That's exactly right.
You have to go to the valley, and that's where those hidden treasures are.
Yep.
Those treasures aren't found on the mountaintop or in the playground of prosperity.
Yep.
Those treasures are hidden in darkness, in the valley, in the hard times of despair. That's where you find the gold nuggets.
Yeah. And as I said in the beginning, the greatest songs usually come from the greatest place of pain.
That's right.
And you've seen that come to life, literally, in this song.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for everybody to hear it. It's going to be out really soon, and you are going to love it.